just set it up. For our next session. Let me just, oh, sorry. Let me just make Aroh present before we start. All right, so thank you, Sanka, for a very informative session about Snowflake. Our second session for tonight is about CDS, Power Platform, and Microsoft Teams. Our speaker is Aroh Shukla. He's a Microsoft MVP for data platform here in Singapore and one of our organizers. Aroh, we have you on the call, right?
Yes,
All
yeah,
right, there you
thanks,
are.
Pio. Yeah,
I've already made you a
yeah,
presenter.
I can see that. Yeah, I can share my slides now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks, everyone. And this is Aroh speaking. And let me show my slide first. Mm. Hopefully, you can see my screen, right, Pio? Asif?
Yep.
Yeah, we can.
Thank you. Again, thanks everyone for coming for this late evening. Aroh Shukla signing on, and then I want to show something very exciting, which is like released a couple of weeks back in Ignite 2019, and I was very interested how it works, and also I just want to make a presentation that how the CDS can work with the Microsoft Teams, and it's make it very exciting for customers who have a no license perspective. So let me show what I have for you. Okay, so first thing about myself, I'm a Microsoft MVP in data platform, which Pio mentioned, and I'm work as a technical analyst and also work as a partner in Microsoft. I have experience in Office 365, SharePoint Online, data platform. I'm also do a lot of Power BI trainings for different customers. I'm also a consultant, and you can contact me on my LinkedIn profile. I update my blog very regularly. I can contact on my Twitter handle. Okay, 30 seconds. Yeah, I noted down. Okay, so what we are want to show it with you is about CDS 101. What is CDS, how it works, why Microsoft created CDS for us. Okay, and then everyone's seen about Power Platform, how Power Platform can work with us in terms of the Power Platform and also with CDS. So we'll see how the CDS and Power Platform works together, and we'll see all things together: CDS, Power Platform, and Teams together. So this is something which is very exciting. It is released in September, Ignite, and I have two demos. One is about the again about the CDS, how it works, and how it is different from the Teams perspective. When you use Teams, how it's a bit different. So we see all the nut and bolts, all the nitty gritty of Teams, Power Platform, and CDS. I'm really excited to show this thing with you. First thing first, very important thing which we have seen so far, that our business is always very challenging all the time. Okay, whether it is we have budget constraints for any organization, whether it's a SMB customer or whether it is a big customers like Microsoft, all the customers have challenges with the budget constraints. We have time constraints, very issues with that. And main thing is we have a lot of complex processes, right? And mainly we have a lot of BI integrations. Few applications work with BI, few other doesn't work. And mainly if any organization, we have a shadow IT, the people using WhatsApp, Viber, WeChat, and corporate organization can't control it. And we have always an issue with the security compliance. We have a DLP issues and all. So these are main challenges. Again, whether it's a small company, big company, we always always have some legacy systems we have to maintain. Okay, and the main issue which there's so many link, but issue which has we have so many applications. Few could be from Microsoft, few from other systems. So integration with these third-party applications is a huge task for any organization. Okay, so how CDS fit in? Okay, CDS is another kind of database? No, the answer is no. Uh, CDS is not a database as a service. No, the reason is because you can see that actually CDS by default is actually store the data, but it does so many other amazing stuff for us. So first thing is that if you want to just highlight that how many people have used Access database, right, in your organizations. I don't know. I've never used it, but in my university time, I have to an application. We have to use the data from Access database, and then have to show the data to the my instructor. Okay, so they're using Access database. But I still don't know if people are still using Access database. But I give an analogy how Access is quite similar in terms of the CDS. So first thing, right? Access is the first thing is very easy to create, right? You can create a simple application using foreign key and primary key very simply. Even you don't know the basic terminology, you can still do it. Lot is a desktop application you have to install on the desktop. And first thing, lot of people use it and they know how to use it. Okay. Now, if we do some kind of Access database actually behind the scenes actually is a relational database. Okay, now if you compare Access database with CDS, how it relates. So I told you, right? Access actually is a database. However, CDS does something more. The first thing we see the differences. Main thing is Access has you can in CDS you can easily create your tables called as entities. You can create a web application, which means any person can create a web application. For the Access database, you must install on your PC. However, when you use CDS, you can install on any computer which has an internet connection. Okay, and again, many people are using it, right? And it's a relational database, but it does it more. What it does more is actually it can create forms for you. Simply, rather than creating any kind of custom code, it will help you to creating forms. It can help you creating a business rules for you behind the scenes. If you don't know any kind of coding, you are still safe. You can still make your business rules by drag and drop. You can create dashboards. You can create your own custom code. Whether you are expert in .NET code, you can still use a CDS and push data into CDS. That is the power of CDS. And again, it's a huge ecosystem using Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Power Virtual Agents. So if you see, CDS is not just a database, it's also create a ton of simple other applications which anyone can use it. I mean, anyone can use it. I want to repeat that. Okay, and more, it can do more things. My slide have not enough space. I put more. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, and now in terms of the cloud computing perspective, you have maybe you have seen this slide 1,000 times, but just want to give a perspective here. Now, if you see in this particular area, the left side is all your on premises, which you manage your entire applications. However, when you move to the other part, which is IaaS or platform as service, you are actually dealing with Azure, right? And other one, we have something called as a SaaS application, like Gmail is actually a SaaS application. Your Microsoft applications are mostly into Office 365 applications are on the cloud as well, right? So what I want to highlight that these Office 365 applications and Dynamics 365 are actually our SaaS applications, but it's something new. It is a Power Platform, and something which is new is called as HPAAS, which means Hyper Productivity Application PaaS service, which means that all the end users can create the applications without writing a no code or low code. This gives you what Microsoft is trying to empower is just not the pro developers who write code, C# code, JavaScript code, but also the people who actually write the application. They know how the business works. Okay, so what happened that we have SaaS applications. We also have a backend, which is our Azure. Okay, so one thing is very common, which I've seen in a lot of forums. I made into very simple graphics about what actually difference between Excel, SharePoint, SharePoint Online, and CDS. Now, what I want to highlight something that there are more features. Again, I can't have so many details, but when in terms of Excel, you can easily set up and you can take a backup. The problem with Excel is there's no connectors. There's no connectors, which means you can connect from one system to another. There's no security at all. There's no scalability. You can have around 1 million rows, your Excel file will stuck. And the main thing is very important thing, which I've seen many times. Excel is not a database. Again, I repeat, Excel is not a database. Okay, then we go to SharePoint. SharePoint has similar features. Again, what it lacks is a connector. You can say Aroh, we have a connector, we can have a plugins, but again, plugin is it's not a proper thing. If you want to use actual connector, which means you want to connect to SQL Server on premises, then you have to use something called as business connectivity service, which is take a lot of time. So that's why I put a cross, because it's not very easy to develop. Okay, SharePoint has securities. SharePoint is there for last 20 years. They have an inbuilt security, but doesn't have a scalability. If you want to have 10 terabyte of space, you can't do it. And again, SharePoint is not relational database. It's not relational database at all. Okay, you can have 8 lookup fields, but it doesn't make you any. It make it more complex. However, CDS does everything. It has a easy to set up. You can have a backup very easily. Had a ton of connectors. Security is inbuilt because it's based on Azure. Scalability, you can have a ton of database you can have, and it's ground up from the security standpoint. So you can have everything in CDS. Okay, so let's talk about data. Now, when you talk about the data, you have ton of applications. I'll talk about a few of the things. For example, data is essential. You can create an app called as Power Apps. Maybe you can create a form. Then you can have some report for using Power BI. I can also do something called as automation using Power Automate. And just a new thing which has come last year, where it is called as Power Virtual Agents. So you can have the data coming from your entire system, could be your SQL Server, could be your Excel for that matter, or could be any file. Okay, so all these applications can pull the data from data. Data could be any system. Okay, then if we talk about the connectors, now again I mentioned about the connectors. Connectors is where you can have a connectivity to Microsoft applications or third-party applications like SAP, or you can have a MailChimp or something. So you can have connectors for all these 4 applications: Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate. Okay, and you can tell me that how CDS fit in. CDS actually is mostly for internal applications. Okay, I give me a graph here so that you can understand. So when anything which is not in Power Platform, when you use a connector, then you use connectors for that. However, anything which is internal, like use a SharePoint or anything your Dynamics, you can use the internal servers which use actually CDS. So we have types of data which is connectors. Now connectors, I want to re-emphasize, connectors could be your Microsoft connectors or third-party connectors. Okay, which is a MailChimp or DocuSign, whatever it is. Then internal, you can have a common data service. Okay, these are the few applications you can actually highlight here. Okay, so we can tell Aroh which application I can work with. So what I can want to tell you that connectors can work with 4 applications, can work with Power Apps, can work with your Power Automate. It's not Flow, Power Automate. You can work with the Power BI as well. But the problem with connectors, it doesn't work completely if I'm using a model driven app. Okay, because it's back on your backend is a Dynamics 365. It doesn't work as well with the Power portals, Power Apps portals, okay, and AI builders. But if we want to use similar thing, it works for all applications. So irrespective of the client, your CDS work for all systems. Okay, that is the beauty of CDS. You can do everything inside CDS. Irrespective you using Canvas app, you're using a model driven app or using Power BI, all your data can be stored here. Okay, so that is a power of a thing. Now you can tell Aroh what is the why is the connectors are easy? It's easy because your business user have completely no idea how to write your single line of code. Okay, so what they can do, we can just drag drop a SharePoint connector. Okay, which is out of box, and then just pull the data from SharePoint and show the data using Power BI. So it's very, very easy, just like a plug and play. Right, plug and play. However, there are other applications like which are on premises. They are at home, which means your ERP system or SAP system, maybe you don't want to move out from one application to another. You want to be at home, just want to be inside your on premises or on the cloud. So that is the power of connectors here. Okay, so one thing I want to highlight that connectors have lot of good things. You can have around this is the power of connectors. You can have around 400 cloud services connections, your database APIs, ton of things you can do. You can also have develop a custom connector. So again, Microsoft have around 400 cloud services, but maybe you're not using some one connector which is not used. For example, QuickBook Online, Spotify for that matter, there's no connector for that. So what you can write a custom connector as a developer, and you can use as a citizen developer. Which means citizen developer people are your business users. You can easily, if you are a developer, you write a REST API and use your citizen developers can use that API, whether it's a Spotify or using QuickBook Online, they can just use it. Okay, so that is the use of the connectors in general. Okay, so why CDS? The reason we talk about what, now we talk about the why. The why, why CDS? Because it's very smart. It's actually understand the data. It has AI in between there, and you can build a lot of things there. And also it scales. Why it scales? Because it's your backend is Azure, so you can use the data, but it's maybe in terabytes of data. Maybe you want to use Azure Data Lake or any kind of data you can just store there. So irrespective of your data size, you can scale it irrespective whether it's a 1 MB file or 1 terabyte file. Okay, and again, because the CDS is developed from the scratch, so it's very secure. Okay, because all the Azure Office 365 security is built on the security standpoint. Otherwise, nobody will buy Microsoft services. Okay, then one thing which I want to highlight, I'm going for demo soon, that there are few things about CDS which is very important, that you can easily develop your structures. You can build your tables, which is called as entities inside the and using AI, using the your UI, not AI, UI. Okay, then you can also have a data which is coming from maybe from Excel or from your on-premises data. Maybe you are using Oracle data or using some other maybe Amazon data. You can use the data. The best thing, you can hatch your own business logic irrespective of the data. Other thing is that you can have interconnected applications. So data could be from any other sources, and you can write application on top of this business logic. Okay, and the last part is secure. It's highly secure, which I mentioned to you. Is CDA is secure and compliant. Okay, so that is the thing I want to highlight. Another thing about CDS is a relational database. And one thing is very important that people mention that CDS is something new. It's not new. It's actually the storage is actually backend is a dynamic 365. Okay, the only thing which is new is the Azure part and the model security part, which is new, which is from the ground up. But the security is still from the dynamic 365. So you see that is a lot of people who are using Dynamics. They know that is a very stable system, right? It's there for many years, very stable. A lot of things are there. So storage is still on there on the Dynamics 365, and because it's using Azure services and Cosmos underneath, so your data can be scaled very easily. The best thing about CDS is that you can share your applications just not with the third-party applications, but also with the Power Apps and other applications. Okay, and it has a very rich ecosystem and very easy tooling. So what I want to show you next is about the. I think with the 2 slides I have for the, then we work on the demo. This is a logical architecture of CDS. Logical architecture. How dynamically I can show how CDS works. So everything is actually wrapped as an API. Okay, then this API can be using for Power Apps, could be used to Power Automate, but your business user doesn't know about API. That's why Microsoft added something, a layer called as SharePoint data, or your OneDrive data, or Azure data. So, but behind the scenes actually is calling a API. Okay. What happens that I can write a code using SQL. You can use a Visual Studio and any other application I can use it. Okay, instead of security, you can go for authentication, authorization, and auditing. So CDS will take care of that. You don't have to handle the security for CDS. It's already inbuilt. However, the logic, maybe you have to build it, because when you create a new application for that matter, which we'll create today, you can see that I can create a new rule, a new calculated columns. I can have some business rules. I can have a deduplication. So everything is inside. Only thing you have to just entire the wire up the logic inside. And the third layer is the data. Data is one of the crucial part of CDS. That's why we are talking about the database part here. So you can have your catalog, you can have a data modeling, you can have data validation inside. And there's something called as a common data model. Is some of the different part, but you can use your SAP data and your Adobe data inside that one. So Microsoft has a team with Adobe, SAP and Microsoft 365 to create some entities which all the people can use it. Okay. And the next one is a storage. In this particular layer, we can see have storage. You can have your relational database. You can have your semi-structured database. You can have your blobs in storage, and you can have your Azure data lake. Yeah. And the last one is the integration. So you can have your integration using logic apps. You can have your webhooks from different APIs. You can do a lot of things you can do here. Okay, so this is the logical architecture. However, how CDS works on the physical way, this is the physical structure. We have the CDS or your Power Platform here, and then this CDS works on the web compute and the sandbox nodes on Azure, and you can work on the SQL, Elastic Pools, Blob, Cosmos, DB, which I mentioned to you. Behind the scenes is using Azure Data Lake and Cosmos. Again, you can have anything. You can go for 1 MB to 1 terabyte. Doesn't matter the space. OK, and we see the CDS in action. Lot of things I talk to. Now you talk about how we can create a table and using CDS and create an app within 10 minutes. OK, let me show you how it works. OK, so this is my Power Apps portal. It's a maker portal, and you can see all the apps, all my apps here. These are apps which I developed, and this is my CDS, Common Data Service. So I can create tables. But how can create tables? I can just you see it has the Microsoft already created a lot of um, entities. Now entity you think as a tables in SQL. So I can just create, just give you an example. I click on the account, and this account have lot of column. You see it. Okay, just letting some time. This particular account has a lot of. Okay, I'm using a different table here. Okay, something else, but it shows a lot of the. If you click in account, or it may be some other account address. Yeah, so if you show a lot of data inside, so a lot of columns it will create. Okay, so this is the part of the designing a table. Again, I mentioned to you in my slide deck, you can create a UI from scratch. Okay, this is the environment. Okay, okay. So what I will do, I'll create a new table. We call it as employee information. Let me create here. Okay, let me create I'm creating a new table. I call it as entity. So that one I have called as employee information. Okay, so what is the end goal? My end users must create an app on the mobile devices. Okay, and we have to create a table. This is the table which is called as employee information. So I will just create here. And this is the table. This is the if you people know about SharePoint, SharePoint has a column called title. In CDS, it's called as a name. Okay, then I have a lot of ton of things I can do. I can have some kind of a description of the table. I can have a entity. Again, I go on to in detail. I can have different entities. I can have a lot of collaborations. I can have a mail merge. I can do with SharePoint documentation management. I can also do some kind of update, deduplication. That's a power. Okay, in SharePoint you can't do it. Excel you can't do it. Okay, but in CDS you can't do deduplication out of box. Okay, the best part is offline. If maybe your one guy went to Jurong Island where there's no internet, he can just use your offline application, and he can just still do some kind of updates. And when the internet is on, then the data will be synced. So this offline capability is inside out of box. You don't have to create anything behind the scenes. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a new table, new entity called as employee information. You see, employee information. Now, what will happen, right? It will create some database. Now you see it creating a new table, and let me refresh it. It's loading the entities, and what I can do, I can create. You see, by default, create all other entities. So this is your supporting entities. It shows the business number, unit number, everything. But I want to see only the field which I created. This is the new field. I will add 3 more fields. Then I show you. So I'm wanting to add 3 more fields. One is the first name, last name, and second is the salary. So let me put the first name. You see, it's so easy to create a database in that simple way. OK, I can have a roll up just like in calculated columns in Excel, and also in SharePoint you have calculated columns. You can do here as well, right? I just create done. I will also add another field called as last name. OK, and now you see the data type. It has ton of data types. No other system have so many data types. You have an email, you have the URL, you have the ticker symbol, your uh, all these symbols on your Sensex. You can see that phone number, auto number. In Access, you have an Access database. Here also you can do it. OK, and you have a time zone, date, currency, all things you have, right? So for our example, I just put the text field. OK, and the next one, the last field, I will create a salary. OK, and then I will use a currency field. Where is the currency here? OK, I can just done. And soon I have to save this entity. Just like in SQL, you have to commit or you have to save. I just save my entity, which has 3 columns, and the table name is called as employee information. Okay, so second step, what I have to do is to help my end users, my salespeople, to create an app through which they can actually put their salary. Maybe the people have just they want to have their salary for the HR purpose. So what I will do, I'll create a new app. What I will do, can use different modes. I can use Canvas app, which is the simplest way. I create a Canvas app. And I want to highlight something. Now, CDS is a paid service. It's not a free service. What I'm showing you, because we are the partner, we get the free things. So I'm using a CDS. You see premium, SQL Premium, which means that you have to pay. It's around, again, I want to go to the licensing part. Licensing in the Power Platform actually requires PhD. A lot of things are changing every 2-3 months. So I won't go into licensing, but I want to call out that the CDS is a paid service. If you're using Office 365, it's a paid service. Okay, so I'm creating a new a phone layout. And I create a new table, right? Employee information. So I just create this one. I try to click connect. Now you see how much time it take to create a new mobile app, which all my end users can use it, right? So I create in a backend system. Now all my employees will add the details. Right? And now I'm apps. Uh, uh, something something. PO, can you hear me?
Aroh, it's breaking.
Yeah, it's breaking. Yeah. One second. Let me 1 second. I just changed my connection. 1 second. I'm also getting a bad network at my place. I just turn out. 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. So sorry about that. This particular my room has a lesser internet connection. I'm changing to another network. 1 second. Just so what I'm doing, I want to show you that I'm creating of different fields. I'm adding a first name, a last name for my end users, and also the salary. Okay, so let me put here add salary. Okay, now what I can do as a preview, I can see that not in this one. I can go to the browser one. Okay, now see here. Now all my users can actually add their salary thing. So may I put the name? I put Aroh. I put Aroh Shukla. I put $1,000. Okay, I put $1,000. Okay, second done. I want to give one more item. I add one more thing. I put Asif. Okay, and then I put $2,000. Okay, and then put yeah. Now just want to highlight something that in my data set, right? All my employee information are now stored here. You see all the things there. So that is the beauty that all your data, irrespective of which application I'm using, I can just do it very easily. Okay, I can make relationships. I can have some business rules. For example, if salary is more than $2,000, it's goes to the HR for a verification. I can create a form. I can create a dashboard. I can create a charts, different charts I can do. So this is the beauty of a CDS because it makes life much more simpler for the end users. Okay, so let me have something to show something here. So let me show something very important, which is like how the CDS works together in the Power Platform. So this is the one of the slide deck which is shared in the Ignite, which is you can have 4 applications who are the backend is CDS. So you have Power Apps, BI, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents, and the backend of the systems are CDS. I told you about data connectors. You can have any data connectors, which is standard connectors or your premium connectors. You can use it, and you can have your AI builders in these applications. OK, now one thing very important that Microsoft, Microsoft Teams has just has become so popular because of the remote work. So they have so many people, around 75 million people are daily users of Teams, and they have around 5 billion meetings. So what Power BI, Microsoft has done in the Ignite, they want to empower all the users who are using Microsoft Teams, and they want to give all these tools inside your Power Platform, which means if you have a license of Teams, irrespective whether using Business Premium to E5, you can still use it. OK, that is using of the Power apps. So the CDS can work together with Project Oakdale, which is just released last week on the Ignite, and they can work together, which means your teams can work with the Power Platform. OK, there are few things about Power Platform. One thing is very important, that it's a subset of your Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. OK, and it has the same storage as your CDS. It has same capabilities, same rich data sets like currency and all other things is that. The best thing about the Project Oakdale is that you can use one click, which means in one click you can define your entire data sets. OK, again, main thing important thing is actually part of the CDS. Each team has only 2 GB per space and have around 1 million rows. The data shared is across all the applications, whether it's using Power Apps, Flow, and chatbots. And if you found that okay, my 2 GB space is not too much, you can actually pay for the full CDS if required. OK, very important thing to highlight that when you create a team, actually it creates app within that team. OK, it's a one-to-one mapping. Because it's a preview, you can have only 500 teams, and all your teams settings or your applications are same settings. So team owners, members, and guest OMG have same permissions. You have to give permissions to the Power Apps and Power Automate. You have to control on your team level only. OK, so one thing very important that is not replacing SharePoint, is just adding an additional layer where all the users using Teams, they can create the applications themselves. OK, so let me show you how it works. OK, so we still have some time. What I want to show you is something very simple. Now, I expect that everyone knows Teams, how team works. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a new team. And that team I will define as scratch. I put it as a public team. I put it as a SQL PASS 8 October. OK, this is my team. I will add a team. OK, so what I'm doing is happening behind the scenes is creating a new team. Is also creating a SharePoint site, creating a new OneDrive business, and also creating Office 365 mailbox. OK, so this is the team which I just created. You see, I just make it pin. Okay, yeah, this one I make it pin so that I can easily. You see now. This is my pin. OK, this is my team which I just created, right? Which is 8 October. Now you can see that I have a Power Apps, right? This is the one we just created. So what I will do, I want to create the new help desk system. Now what I will do, what I mentioned that you can actually create teams with Power Apps. It is a demo. So what it actually helps, it will actually create an app within 5 minutes. So I will create an app within which app? Within the which team? The new team which we just created. So this is the new team, 8 October, SQL 70. Yeah, this is the one. So in this team, I have all my artifacts. So what artifacts I'm talking about? What are artifacts? So it's creating a new database of CDS. It will create a new Power Apps. It will create artifacts for your Power Automate and Power Virtual Agents. So it will create all the things free of cost, which means all the users who have Office 365 Business Premium and E5, they don't have to pay anything out of the pocket. Everything they can design the applications within Microsoft Teams ecosystem. This is a huge thing because the CDS is always expensive thing. Now what Microsoft have done is creating an application through which you can create apps yourself. Okay, now what's happening is creating a lot of artifacts behind the scenes, and soon within few seconds it will create things for us. Okay, so I already created something, so we will take some time. Yeah, so I create a table. Here. Yeah, so this is the one which I created, right? This is the app. Now I can create a new app, right? So I can create a new app. Which table, which app I can create? Maybe a help desk system. So what I can do next, that same thing what I will show you. I want to give a comparison between the normal CDS and the CDS within your Teams application. So what I will do, I want to create a new help desk system. Okay. Now again, everything is within Microsoft Teams applications. Okay, so I will create a table. Just like a SQL table, I'm creating a new table. What I'm doing, be me as a business user, I can create a table. Let me create a new table. Okay, now let me table as a call as tickets. Okay, there, and then I create here. Okay, so again, as I showed you in my previous demo, that you can design tables like that. Just like an Access database, you can create your tables like that. So I will create a new column called as a ticket number, called as a ticket ID, and in Access we have data called as auto number. I put auto number. I can also do some kind of configuration. I can have maybe one, and this is the okay. This is my length example. Okay, then I can add some other data types. I can add some description about the ticket, right? I can add some create. Okay, I can also add a due date. Okay, again, I told you CDS have a ton of data made rich data sets. I can use a date and put date here. And I will also add something called as a priority for the ticket. Okay, I add the priority, and I can use a choice field. I can use a choice field. And if people have used SharePoint, you can have a similar kind of user interface for column formatting in SharePoint. So I will add something called as low. Called as low, and I put it maybe this color. I add another choice called as a medium. Okay, and maybe I put orange, and the last one is put it high. I put it red color. Red color. I'm done with that. Okay, now I can add my things. I can tell that this is a problem with my phone. Doesn't work. Okay, ticket ID is auto number. I put has some issue. Okay, and I can put due date. Maybe I put next week, and the priority I made it high. I put high. Okay, I'm done with that. Now I can close it. Now my table is created. Now you see the CDS icon is there. Data is refresh. I can see the data is. I can just preview. My new table is created out of box. You see, so easy to do it. Okay, what I can do next, that I can go, you can see that if I go for database, you have a Teams integration, which means your Power Apps, Power Platform are integrated within the Teams interface itself. Right, so that is the beauty of Teams and Power BI. sorry, Power Apps. Okay, I can save it. I can also do some settings. I can just make it user friendly. I can just make it an icon here. Maybe I put a red color. Yeah, this is for this app is for tracking tickets. So my end user knows that what this ticket does. Okay, I can have my collections. I can do everything. Okay, I have done with that. I go back. Okay, this is my haptics tickets. This is one. Okay, and I can do anything. Now I'm done with this. Again, I showed you that it's very easy to create a database within your team's applications, right? So it takes some time because still is loading the stuff, and I can add as many screens I want to. I can preview. I can also publish. Which team it will publish? It will publish into where? It will publish into the new team which we created. Let me publish here. Let me publish to the teams. It's showing that this tab takes the tickets for the organization. I click OK. And it will take some time to load, and it will show that in my tab, new tab, it will show that this is going to add a new tab in my team. So I click save and close. OK, it takes some time. And if I go to my teams now, it's still not loaded. I think it's some time to load up. Yeah, but I will show you the which one I did. So this is the one which I created in the previous one. Because it takes some time to load the applications. So I can create an application. I can actually add a new record within Microsoft Teams. Again, you don't have to pay anything. It's a part of the solution. I can add a new record. I can put the SharePoint. I'll put priority maybe at the high and maybe for the 70 and put add. So what I want to show you that you can create your own applications within Microsoft Teams without paying for the CDS database, right? So what I want to highlight something very important, that when you build the things and click on the select all, you have all the things. You have the tables with your CDS entity. Tickets one we just created, right? Tickets we created, right? And we can add, you see same thing. We have a relationships, we have the views. We can also see the visual editor, the one which I showed you. OK, and I can also do some kind of flow automation. I can do a Canvas app. I can have a table form factor. I can create my own chatbots. I can create Power Automate options here, automated instant and scheduled. I can also write all my other applications. So these are all my applications I can create, again, not paying anything. OK, very important thing to highlight, which I want to show you, that if I go here in my admin center, that you will see something very important, that I have created a new teams, right? New teams. You see a new environment has been created. So when you create a new team, a new environment is created for you. This is my team, right? The SQL 8 October is the one which I created. And if I click here, you will see something, a security. What security I'm talking about, Aroh? Security is is team security. So if the people OMG, which means people who are the owners, who are the visitors, I mean the members and the guests, everyone have access to the Power Apps and Flow. I repeat again, security is same permissions of your Microsoft Teams. OK, so everyone has access to that. OK, so let me show you something very important thing as well. As a capacity, I mentioned to you that by large, now this is, forget about this one. This is I'm using a lot of demos, right? So my data is too already have a lot of demos. It's already overshoot. Okay, but if you the capacity is 1 GB, but my team capacity is 2 GB, which means that when I create a new entity, I mentioned it take some time to load up. Actually, what is load up? Actually, loading is creating a lot of entities inside it, creating a Power Automate entities, creating entities and all. So, which means you have only 1.5 GB space. Again, you have only this much space. But again, mentioned to you, if you have want to have more capacity, you can buy the capacity. You can ask Microsoft that want to my space is already over because my data is too much large for my ticket system. I want to have a more data set. Then you can convert your Teams application to to the CDS environment, which has a terabyte of data. Okay, so this is something very important and which is very cool thing which you can do yourself. You as an end user or business users or the IT pro, that you can create your own applications within Teams environment. Okay, so anything else I have to miss out? Let me see that one. Yeah, very important thing that I have some references to talk about. If you want to learn about CDS is there. Okay, and this is the presentation which I used for showing the presentation and showing this particular slide deck. And this is all the FAQs which you can use it for the project Oakdale, which came only 2 weeks back. So a lot of things are changes rapidly. And this is all the information of project Oakdale. I also refer to a lot of videos on the YouTube. Raza Durrani, he's an amazing instructor, he's an MVP as well. And also another instructor is very MVP. He showed about how project Oakdale works behind the scenes, the storage capacity and all, how it works. So this is my demo about the CDS 101 and how the project Oakdale works together with Microsoft Teams and Power Platform. Okay, so I'm done with my presentation. I want to close this applicable app now.
Does anyone have any questions?
Okay.
So you may ask, or you can unmute yourself also and can ask.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No, not yet.
PO Asif?
No. Hi, Aroh. I just want to ask one thing. Means because as you showed in that, so means this actually.
Asif, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hello. Hi, Aroh.
Okay, sure. Okay, so guys, I'm thinking it's okay. It's quite late also, but if you have any doubts and all, you can just ping me on my Twitter, and I can reply to you. Okay. Thanks, guys.